Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Autumn Moon Art, and this is an arty one. I haven't done an arty one for so long here on YouTube, and I was just it's in the evening here over in Wales in the UK, and I was just about to sit down and do some art, some art journaling, which I haven't done in ages, and I really miss my art journals. I've been so busy with other projects. And then I thought, you know what, I think somebody might like to see this on a video, on a reel or a video or something. So I'm just sharing it with you. So what I was going to do was, if you've been following me, you know that I love my scraps. And I was about to do a scrappy sort of art journal page. And I had this idea of doing a sort of like a sort of masterboard, collage board type of thing. But usually when we make masterboards, we tend to cut them up because they are so jambly and and scrappy and that sort of thing. One of the nice things to do with that afterwards is then to cut them up into tags or labels or pages or something, you know, squarish or shapeish, which sort of contains the chaos and the craziness. But you know, I'm an abstract artist, art journaling, messy and all that sort of stuff. I'm going to do a little bit differently in that it's not going to be contained in that way. It's going to be much more grungy art journaly type of thing. Okay, so what I have here is some newsprint. You can just use some cheap photocopy paper if you like. Newsprint is just nice and thin, but still, you know, fairly strong enough to take glue and work on. So what you see here is some of my scraps. I have piles and piles and piles of it. It does not end. So this is just a fun thing to do if you have lots of scraps, really. It's up to you how you want to do this. You can take some gel medium and work with that, or you can just glue stick it, really. It is something that we're going to put on our art journal pages, and if you feel like it needs a little bit more to stay down, you could always add gel medium on top. So I'm just going to go ahead with the tacky glue, my glue stick here, because I just don't feel like getting lots of matte medium out. So what I'm going to choose not ones like this with lots of white. I'm going to choose things with lots of stuff going on. And just like actually it might be easier to do it like this. Just like a masterboard, if you have done a masterboard or you've seen it done, I'm just going to start sticking random bits down. And this is great for all those little tiny bits of scraps you have. But even if they're not tiny enough, I am breaking them down. We do want them small. It does depend on the size of your art journal page. If you have a sort of letter size, A4 size, then you can go a little bit larger with your scraps. But mine tend to be sort of 6 to 5 inches. I have lots of mini, oh my gosh, my brain's gone. Mini art journals. Lots of those. So I'm keeping my scraps small, so then they just make a bit more, I don't know, make a bit more sense. You'll see what I mean when I put this into my journal. So that's it. You can see I'm just taking bits, and this is very therapeutic. It's so, you know, non-thinky. I am going to end up with a lot of squares and rectangles because of just what I have. But if you overlap, then you start losing that squareness aspect. Although the squareness aspect, it might be something that you kind of like. I'm making sure I'm getting a lot of variety. And like I said, I'm keeping them small. So I am going to speed it up now because honestly, this is it. I think I've told you everything there is to say about this. Keep them small, keep them scrappy, overlap, and just do this for as long as you like until you're bored, until you've had enough of sticking down. But honestly, it's so, when you get into it, you can just lose yourself because it's just so pressure free. That's why I love my scraps so much. They give so much, scraps. They're so giving. There's so much you can do with scraps and not feel it's demanding. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to speed this up now and I'll see you on the other side. Okay, I'm going to stop there now because I could be going on for ages. But for this video, I'm going to stop there, or somewhat stop there. This is the main bed. So you can see it's just a crazy mishmash. And then what you can do is you can go back in, and if you see areas that you feel are too squarish or there's some gaps anywhere, you can now go in with teeny tiny, or as little as you like, as tiny as you like, little pieces, and just to break things up. And if you feel there's too much of one colour somewhere, you can break that up a little bit with something else, a different colour or a pattern or something or anything. If you feel unsure about this, you think, oh, this looks just too crazy of a mess, because if you're using your own scraps, then you should be using the, well, not you should be, but you would very likely be using the colours that you normally use and are happy to use, but you might have all sorts of scraps. What I would recommend is that you stick with two colours, two main colours. So I mostly have pinks and I mostly have blues. I do have a third colour, a little bit of green. I haven't put any orange, and I've got a lot of orange, and I did that on purpose because that gives me a little bit of room to do something on my page, on my actual journaling page. So just restrict your colours. If you restrict your colour palette, that's always a helpful way of moving forward or starting in your art page or whatever it is you're working on. When you have too many colours, it's when things can go a little bit loopy or gets out of hand, or you just feel at the end that you feel unsatisfied with what you've achieved, and that's usually because colours are clashing with each other, are not happy. I mean, and I only mean that in the sense that you're not happy with it. If you're happy with it, it doesn't matter what sort of craziness you do, just be happy. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this down so then just it looks a little bit more manageable. I know right now you're thinking, what is this craziness, Autumn? I like this though, this is fun already. Right, okay, so this is my Scrappy somewhat master sheet. I'm going to call it master sheet because it's not a board, it's only really paper, and because of that really thin newsprint, it's still fairly thin, fairly, not too heavy for our art journal page. So grab an art journal that you like. This is one of my journals that I created in our mini marks in 2023, and I haven't really picked it up to use it yet. This is just what I made with all the beautiful papers. Oh, I love it, and I haven't really picked it up yet. So yeah, why not? Let's do it. So I think, oh, I like that just on its own. I'm happy with that already. So I think what I'm going to do is add to this stripy page here. It's quite a small page. It might be easier for me to do it on there, but let's see if I can get away with it here. I like the idea of getting away with it there. And it does help if it's really dry. It's not super dry, so I might be risking it, but it's fine. So I have an idea of what size I want, and I think I'm going to do a sort of weird shape like that, which is really, really small. So I'm going to rip, just like you would rip any collage sheet, any sort of mixed media that you make for to use as a collage piece, you know, no different. Just imagine this is just one sheet, and you're going to tear it up. And like I said, it's a little bit damp, so it's not the best. If you feel it gets away from you, then you could put a layer of gel medium over it, and that makes it's going to make it a little stiffer. Don't put loads of and make it really thick, just enough that it's all gluing together. That's just going to hold a little bit more. So this is enormous, I know, but I'm just seeing what I like. I think I like this here. Let's see. Still quite big, but I think I like it. And all this is just, you can either get rid of it because you've had enough of all this collage, you know, little scraps, or it's just another crazy scrap that you can use somewhere. That's absolutely usable. So you haven't got rid of your scraps. We've just given them a new home, but a more, maybe possibly a more usable home, you know, than if they were just sitting there. All right, I'm just deciding what shade. This is looking like some sort of continent. I'm just going to make it a little bit sort of wonkier or something. But that's it. I'm just creating an abstract shape. I think I might get rid of that at the bottom there. I'm just creating a shape. That's it. Just an abstract shape that's going to go. Oh, I quite like that as well. I was thinking of it coming down, but it just looks like Africa. It's not what I'm going for. So I think I'm going to go this way, and I like it this way anyway. That's it. I'm happy with that. Okay, so now I am going to get some gel medium. And I'm also going to do the top because it's loose bits everywhere. And I much prefer doing it now than adding all that extra onto the sheet, onto the collage sheet. But like I said, if it makes you feel better and it keeps things together, it might be worth doing. So this is me. This is so me. This is the abstract art that I used to do in a larger format, and I love that I found a way of bringing it into my art journals. But I also love finding these new ways, which is like collaging. Collaging is something that I've really adored doing in my art journals, and if it's scrappy, all the better. So you can see how, because I stayed with a more limited colour palette, I've got these pinks and these blues with just that spot of green, which is nice that it's come out there. Then this allows me to work on an orange page, or had orange in some other way that, you know, they weren't clashing. Or on the other hand, it could have melded more into it if I used orange, but it always depends what your final effect is. But if you use a lot of colours, then it becomes just a jumble of a page, and not realise that, you know, I want this collage sheet, to this scrappy collage sheet, to stand out, you know, this piece here to stand out as its own abstract thing. So now I want to integrate my page a little bit together, and I can either bring a little bit of the orange into here, which would be really cool, or I can do some writing. I can bring some white, I can bring some black, I can bring some scribbles. And I'm feeling scribbly, so I'm liking this. It's a different sort of blue, more of a cyan, that's a turquoise. So I'm liking this blue that's happening here, and then and it's almost like it's connecting to the other page. I like that. So that's pulling it together a little bit more. Just going to use some cotton, what do you call these? Cotton buds? Cotton earbuds? Cotton earbuds, that's it. Eluding me. And I'm mirroring these circles down there. This is going to dry very, not really opaque, because I know it's just a watercolor really. And then I'm going to do a little bit, I don't know, do I want to do some writing? Got a little bit of writing going on there. I'm just liking how abstract everything is, and I don't know if I want to bring writing, maybe just some Semic writing. So if you've taken my wild writing course, you know, left hand, connect to the inner child. I say left hand, sorry, your non-dominant hand. I was being very writers there. So if you're left-handed, it would be your right hand. Whichever is your non-dominant hand connects to a more intuitive side of yourself, and you know, your inner child as well. And if you're interested in more of that, that is in my wild writing class. Oh, I like that. I like that. How simple. I hope that was fun, and I hope you give these collage, scrappy collage sheets. Yeah, hope you give them a try. And I've got lots here for other times. And it's just very quickly, you can see how simple that is. Fun, intuitive, it's non-stress, non-thinking, you can just do that. But as an element, it's just taking care of a lot of abstract and marks and shape and interest on your page. I hope you find that fun. And if you do it, let me know, tag me, let me know, and I'd love to come and see it. I always love to come and see what you do. Bye.